It had been over a month since the hurricane swept through Sodor, and James's feud with Alfred lasted for days and days. The other engines were starting to get cross. They all tried to shut him up, but their words only fell on deaf ears, as James carried on moaning and bullying Alfred. Alfred's work in the shunting yards had been very busy since Brian and Dylan left for Shen Valley, and he has rushed off his wheels. Splatter and Dodge were meant to help Alfred, but they are both at the diesel works in the back shed, waiting for their new engines to arrive. So, the Fat Controller decided to get one of his engines to help out in the yard until he could find another engine. Jook, I need you to go to the shunting yard and help Alfred with the shunting until I find another engine. Oliver, Jonald, and Jugglish will look after your work until you get back.
Yes, sir.
No second chances. Alfred was pleased to have Duck helping him.
I'm glad you've come to help. The work here has been so hectic since the Ginty brothers left and Philip is now working at Wellsworth.
No problem. Glad I could help. There are two ways of doing things. The Great Western Way or the wrong way. I'm Great Western and...
Oh, don't we all know it?
Gee, someone woke up on the wrong side of the sheds again.
James's grudge against me is my fault, Doc. I shouldn't have caused an accident at the castle near the cliffs or called him names.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Well, Alfred, I wouldn't dwell in the past, and neither should you. The Fat Controller did give you another chance, and this is your home now.
Yeah, sure. And now there's been rumours going around that we might get another engine at the new Tidmouth Sheds, and I'm pretty sure it's...
James was skeptical because he was sure that Alfred might want to take the last remaining empty berth at the new sheds, so he thought of asking Duck to come back and join him and the others like he used to.
Well, Duck, what do you think about taking the last berth? You used to sleep with us, you know. Why don't you come back like you used to?
Oh, well, thank you for asking, James, but I'm very happy at Allsburg West. It is near my branch line, after all.
James fumed as he puffed away. Duck took no notice.
Don't worry about him. He'll calm down eventually.
I hope so. From what James said, did you sleep at Tidmouth Sheds, Doc?
Yes, I did. I used to sleep there with the other engines ever since I first arrived here to help out in the yard.
Really? But how come you don't live there anymore?
Well, it's because, as I've just told James, I've got a branch line up the coast of Allsburg. And after me and Oliver helped the village up there one winter, I decided to move out of Tidmouth Sheds in early 2004 and stay at Augsburg West with him, Donald and Douglas, so I can be nearer to my work, and that was when Edward came back to my place in the sheds. I lived happily there ever since.
I see. It must be nice to have a home much closer to work.
Yes, indeed. It saves having to travel to certain sheds on other parts to the island, too. But I've still got my friends by my side no matter where I go or what I do. Right, let's get started.
So Duck and Alfred worked hard all day, shunting coaches and trucks to and from the station platform and the yard. Later that evening, the Fat Controller came to see the engines and told them that another engine had been found and will be arriving the next day. Also, there's a goods train that needs to go to Vickerstown, and one of you will meet the new engine there. Would you like to check it, Duck?
Actually, sir, I was thinking of letting Alfred take the train. It might give him a chance of a change of scenery before he comes back.
Good idea.
Thank you, Duck.
No problem. That way, you won't have to put up with grief from James for once.
The next morning, Alfred arrived into Vickerstown goods yard to deliver his trucks. He puffed to the water tower for a rest and a drink before heading back home.
That's just what I needed.
Tell me about it.
Why? Have you ever had those days?
For me, they're all those days.
On one of the new engines here, I've been trying to make new friends, but most of the engines knew about my past.
All the engines judge me for my past, too.
Alfred was pleased. He had finally found an engine he can relate to. Later, James arrived to pick up trucks and building materials for Shen Valley's Mountain Rescue Center project. He was still not happy about his punishment.
Duck, are my trucks ready to go?
Yes, James. All lined up and ready to go. I'm beginning to think that after the Great Western Way, the greatest magic of all is see trucks all smartly lined up.
Hello, James. Hello, Doc.
Hello. What are you so smug about?
I met the new engine at Vickerstown.
That's great. I knew that goods run would help. Who is he?
It came as a shock when the engine arrived.
Good morning, Duck. I was wondering how long it would be before I see you again.
Diesel!
Diesel? What in the world?
You know each other?
You could say that.
We both had our differences, but your worthy fat, Sir Topham Hatt gave me another chance, and I'm grateful for it.
Years ago, Diesel came to Sodor on a trial run, and he was very boastful about being all modern and revolutionary. But after the incident with the trucks, Diesel began telling lies about Duck to get revenge for it, because he thought it was Duck's fault for his mistake. Duck felt hurt, and was still bitter about it today. Now Diesel had been rebuilt at the National Railway Museum in Yorkshire, and was back in service after a few years away from Sodor.
So, what brings you back to Sodor?
Your worthy fat, Sir Tom Hatt sent me to come and help out here. I hope you're pleased to see me again. I am to shunt those dreadfully tiresome trucks.
Shunt where?
Where? Why, from here to there. And again from there to here. Easy, isn't it?
With that said, Diesel made himself quite clear by bumping the trucks hard. Duck was horrified. He still didn't trust Diesel after all.
Alfred, I know you're trying to make friends with the other engines here, but well, with Diesel's past and your past, I'm not sure he's the right friend for you.
But whatever he did, you forgave him, right?
Of course, it's just Diesel was not the nicest engine.
Well, whatever happens, I'm sure Diesel will get on quite well here.
What's so funny, James?
Alfred. Alfred and Diesel pairing up together. What a daft pairing. Stupid LNER engines. Oh, you all are a bunch of silly, stupid LNER engines and little Great Western engines.
Oh, the indignity.
I'm not that little.
Duck was very worried. On his way back to his branch line, he decided to talk to the fat controller.
Sir, can I talk to you about something?
Sure. What's up, Duck?
I'm concerned about Alfred. Beg pardon, sir, but I don't think it's a good idea for him to work with Diesel, sir. And well...
Then, in a quiet voice, he added,
You said before you sent him packing, sir.
I know, Duck, but I had no option but to give Diesel another chance. I know you don't have a good history with Diesel, but I'm trying to help the yard situation by bringing Diesel here. Now you and the other engines must help me. He was the only engine available.
As you wish, sir.
Duck puffed sadly back to his branch line. Plus, I kind of blew my budget on food. That night, Alfred and Diesel were resting in the sheds at the yard, though Diesel was a bit fed up since most of the engines had been talking about him behind his cab.
Everybody says they give you a second chance, but deep down, they never forgot about my past.
I know how that feels.
I heard what Duck said about me earlier today, and he was right. I haven't been the nicest engine. Can you keep a secret?
Of course.
Well, I did those things in the past because I was angry with Duck. He acts as if he was better at everything than me, and he was one of those who tricked me into taking the wrong trucks out. That's why I started telling tall tales and made up names about Gordon, Henry, and James to the trucks to pin the blame on Duck for getting back at him.
Oh, I see. What are their names?
For Gordon, a galloping sausage. James, rusty red scrap iron. And Henry, old square wheels.
Those are the funniest names I've ever heard. I wish I thought of those names myself. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
Thank you.
Although, I'm beginning to see both sides of your story.
Really? How so?
So Alfred and Diesel started talking about their past reasonings and how they could make it all better. They were starting to act like old friends. Duck, however, was still concerned about Alfred and Diesel. He was talking to Oliver, Donald, and Douglas about it, and they were all shocked and unsure too.
I really don't think Alfred should hang out with Diesel. They're bound to go back to who they used to be and cause trouble all over again. They might even go about telling tales about us all to the trucks, too.
You do have a good point, Doc. Diesels are the reasons why we left Scotland and came here to avoid getting scrapped. Those oily, arrogant devils. Och, aye. As much as we like the other Diesels here on the island, it's Diesels that are one of the worst things along with Yeardley and Diesel 10. I know you three had histories with Diesel, but remember, not all of them are bad. Take a look at Daisy, Mavis, Boko and Rusty. I even heard from Thomas that Sydney, Norman and Paxton are quite pleasant too, including Den and Dart.
I know that throughout my time here, Oliver. It's Diesel I'm worried about. Whenever I see him or hear his name, I'm always reminded of his history. That's why I kept myself away from him all those years.
Didn't you tell Alfred not to dull on the past, Duck? Donnie's right. Maybe it's possible that you need to do the same thing too. That's as if Diesel has changed or not. Save it, you two. Duck may be proud about being Great Western, but engines like him will have to learn himself.
But Duck wasn't listening. He already went to sleep, wondering how to stop Alfred and Diesel. The next morning, Duck had to collect a train of ballast trucks and take it to the shunting yard ready for some track work on Edward's branch line. He hoped Diesel wouldn't try and change Alfred back to his old ways. Duck really wanted to pay Diesel out, but he wasn't sure how. But when he arrived, he could see Diesel showing off to Alfred by bumping some trucks.
Diesel!
Stop that, Diesel! Not so loud!
But it's fun!
Him! Having fun, are we? Well, let me tell you, I don't approve of your actions at all, and I'll have you know that some goods in those trucks could have easily been damaged.
But Duck,
Don't try and interrupt, Alfred. You can't be friends with Diesel. He's just trying to be friends with you so he can make you turn against us, just like he did to Gordon, Henry, and James, and made them turn against me.
Ha! You still don't trust me. But guess what, Duck? It doesn't matter if you give me a second chance or not. Alfred had to choose between you and me, and your so-called friend chose me. So ha! I win!
you win? That sounds like you just made friends with me just to get back at Duck. You using me.
Exactly! Wait, I mean, no! I got caught up in the moment, like you! Beating Duck is just a bonus!
I should have known. James was right all along. None of the other engines wanted to be my friend. Why should you?
Alfred, wait! I am your friend!
Well, you won. I hope you're happy.
I guess I have to manage the yard on my own.
Diesel? Are you okay?
Which is exactly the way I like it! Thank you, Duck, for getting rid of that annoying Steamy who wanted me to be his friend. I'm not sad at all. I definitely don't feel as if my heart is breaking into a million pieces.
Hello, Duck. What's wrong?
Alfred has lost a friend. It's all my fault.
Duck told Edward what had happened between him, Alfred, and Diesel.
You know, Alfred has been learning the yard well, Duck, but you shouldn't have tried to stop him from being friends with Diesel. Sure, he was devious in the past, and he still can be at times, but remember, Duck, that feud you had with him was a long time ago. Diesel might have learned sense during his visit in York. He may not want to, but it was for his own good, and you shouldn't dwell on the past either.
All of that was basically what I told Alfred the other day, and well, and what Oliver and the twins told me last night, but I didn't listen. Oh, what a foolish engine I've been.
Meanwhile, Diesel was having a hard time with his train. The trucks wouldn't stop singing about his incident in the past.
Oh, shut up, you stupid trucks! Grrr!
Oh, hello, Diesel. Welcome back to Sodor. How was your time at York? Huh? What's this problem? I guess some things never change.
Then, there was trouble. As Diesel was halfway up Gordon's Hill, his engine coughed, spluttered, and stopped. Diesel was stuck.
Oh, bother. We've forgotten to fill up with fuel back at the yard before we started.
Diesel's guard phoned the signalman to warn other engines.
James has already passed by with a goods train, so it's too late to switch him to the middle line. You'll have to flag him down.
James saw the guard, but he refused to stop.
Uh-oh, a red flag. Looks like we'll have to stop, James.
Now, I want to get this job over and done with, and if I stop, I'll never get started again.
James ignored the orders and buffered up to Diesel. But he couldn't move. It's not easy trying to move 2 trains on his own.
Come on, James! Get pushing!
Go on, James. You can do it. It's no use. We'll need a banker. I'll send for Edward.
James was furious. But Edward had already left with the ballast train, so Peter came to see Duck.
Duck, you need to help James and Diesel up the hill.
But I can't manage on my own. I am a tank engine after all.
You don't need to. Alfred will go with you and help too.
I would like to.
But there's no way I'm helping that Diesel!
Alfred refused to move. Duck could see that his actions had caused a lot of trouble, so he decided to try and put things right.
Alfred, when I first came to Sodor, Percy showed me the ways of the yard, and I made good friends with him. But when he left to work on Thomas's branch line shortly after, I was left to look after the yard on my own, and make friends with the other engines too. I need to give you the same freedom. I shouldn't have tried to ruin my own chances. Just like me, you have to make your own decisions, and your own friends.
But what if Diesel was trying to use me to beat you?
For what I've seen since yesterday, he's turned into a real thing. But it's not my place to judge. It's all up to you.
I've made my decision. Let's go and help our friends.
I was hoping you might say that.
Alfred and Duck buffered up, and the 2 trains set off.
Why are you two helping us?
That's what true friends and really useful engines do.
Let's get this train up the hill.
They arrived in Shen Valley yards. Brian and Dylan were surprised by what they'd seen.
Well, would you look at that? I've never seen an engine like that before. Looks like James has taken a bit more than he bargained for. Serves him right for lying to us a while ago. Am I right, Brian? You bet, bro. Do you think we should rescue him? Nah, I think we should leave him for at least a few minutes. I propose 5. I propose 10. What about 20? No, we're definitely waiting for 10. Fine.
James felt very embarrassed.
Oh, when will my luck change?
The next morning, Diesel had filled up his fuel tank and was back at work again. Duck came into the yard too to apologize.
Hey, Diesel. About what I did yesterday, I was wrong, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't let the past get the better of me, and I have to hand it to you. I could have never managed those trucks like that. You really are a useful engine.
Thank you, Duck. And I'm sorry for what I did to you all those years ago. I was cross because I thought you were to blame for my mistake. But after talking with Alfred about it, it made me realize that it was my fault all along.
Well,
apology accepted.
Well, I'm glad that's all sorted out.
Indeed we have, Alfred. Indeed we have.
I'm glad to say that Duck and Diesel now get along very well, and with Alfred's help, maybe, just maybe, Diesel can make more friends, if he just learned to change his ways a little bit.
I'll get him next time.